What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Quantum Ascend. Going to do some charts and coffee today, and we're going to do it for everybody. So we do this every morning in my Quantum Circle group. I put out a video 7 days a week. We just go through some of the macro indicators here, talk about movement, what could come next, what to look for. We really try to make it a little bit more educational, but also I want you guys to feel good mentally about where we're at every day. So if you do see crazy stuff happen, my group's been ahead of it and they know it's nothing to worry about. So right now on Bitcoin, this is the 4-hour chart. We got our 5 waves down in black. Looking at this 5th wave, we have the 5 orange waves, and then within that 5th orange wave, 5 purple waves. So what we want to be careful of is the exact area we're at right now, up around this 4th wave. And it also happens to be a 236 of this range. What we don't want to happen, and what can happen, and it oftentimes shows up in this exact area, the 5th of the 5th of the 5th, we can come back up into the 4th for a 6. We can take this out one more time for a 7, and then that marks the low. This isn't my base case right now, but who knows what's going to come out today. No, now that it's Monday with news and political events and all that other stuff completely out of our control. So I just do want you to be cautious because we're right at the level that I was worried about. I would have really liked to see us get up a little bit higher here. I wanted us to push through the 114K level. We're at the 114K level here. So let's see how this shakes out. Again, if there's no more crazy news, I don't think we need to worry about this. I think we're going to start to make our way back up here. And what we're looking for next here on Bitcoin is to get us back up in the 120 region, probably flag out for a minute, and then go off into our last 5 waves. So I do think the end is coming here soon for Bitcoin, but I think there's a ton left to go in the alts. So pivotal moment. Let's see what goes on this week. Hopefully markets get turned back around over here to the Bitcoin dominance. Let's zoom out here because a lot of you won't know what won't know what we're talking about. So this is the dominance going back to June of 2023. We've pretty much been in a channel. So that channel mostly being, we have the upper bound there. This blue line, we tried to catch as many of these bottoms as we could. So it's more of just a general trend line, right? We know that there's going to be some sort of resistance along that because we hit it quite a few times on the way up, and I'll zoom into that in a sec. And then this outer one just kept a parallel channel, for that outermost bound. So that blue is the area we're going to be looking at here as I get zoomed in. We had that initial big drop here for our first wave, and we've been talking about this for probably a couple weeks now here in the circle, is we came back up and we smacked that. So in that moment, I said, guys, we're hitting that trend line from a while back. Be a good spot to reject. It did. I said what we need to be careful of is what we don't want to happen is in A, we were on our way down, B, C. And I said, but if we do come up with C, let's watch this blue line again. Gets us up above the A wave there. And taps that trend line, that could be a spot we get rejected. Well, that's what happened. So we're pretty much rolling here on the Bitcoin dominance. What we need now is we need to take out this B wave low down here at, what do we got? 60.7 cents. That's a fat line. 60.7 cents. We want to take that B wave out there, and we should be able to get going down because right now, and again, this is going to depend on what goes on this week, like on a broader scale. What we don't want is this is a 1, 2, 3. Right now, we're working on a 4, and then we go up again. And then alts would see some more carnage in that situation. Not my base case for the time being. Do think we break down here, but I have to put it on the radar in the event that some crazy news comes out. But I do think that anything that happens right now, guys, is going to be pretty short-lived because we're right there, man. We're right on the precipice of having a lot of fun here in the market. So before I continue on real quick, the Quantum Circle, 2 daily videos, entries, exits, strategies, a private Discord, so you guys get to talk to me. We're hanging out all day. Link to that is in my bio, 25% off your first Month, let's roll over to Ethereum. I posted something about this on X yesterday. This is the 4-hour chart. This is showing the last few months here. That last run up right now, we came back down into the 309 of this current range and the 618 of the range dating back to 2021. So when I zoom in on this too, we're kind of at a similar spot, but Ethereum's looking a little bit stronger right now. So we have our ABC, and then in this C wave, let me make this a little bit cleaner for you. In this C wave, we had our 5 waves down into this area with support. We bounced up. We're right at that 4th wave here. So kind of a similar spot as what's going on with this thing? Okay. Kind of a similar spot as Bitcoin right now, where we want to avoid this being a 6. Take this out one more time for a 7. If that were to happen, I'd probably be looking right here, 32.45 to come in as support, but not my base case for the time being. ETH looks pretty decent. Let's hop over to the see the oscillators here. Yeah, it still looks like it has some room to run here. This is the 4-hour chart. We're getting up out of bear territory, so we're above the 40 line. We're kind of in neutral bear right now. I want to see this thing turn up and pop above 60, start waddling. If you look back here, we popped above 60, the top of that purple box. We waddled. Look what happened to price the whole time. Boom, popping off. So we want to be up there in that overbought region, and we want to just keep winding and grinding up on that pole. Get it? All right, let's see. Total 3. Looking like a macro ABC here, and we can kind of see we got some waves going on in here. It actually looks like another ABC. I'll show you why in a sec. And we got another ABC right there. We'll make it purple in the C wave, and you actually had an ABC right, yeah, in the A wave. So that's how that goes. And then if you want to get even more granular, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 within that wave. And you can go, this is pretty weak, 3, 4, 5 in that wave. That's how Elliott waves works. And then if we went down to the 1 hour, we could count out waves within waves within waves. So that's why it really comes down to like picking your time frame. I usually stick to the daily. That's all I really care about. We're looking at the macro view. I think trying to time all that stuff and play every single swing is just exhausting. But I do think that total 3, this is altcoins excluding Ethereum. I think this thing's going to go here soon. So we have that ABC. You look at it zoomed out. That's completed. Found some support if we zoom out right here on top of that first wave, right? And bounced. So let's go. Ready to see this thing going. We're way down here in oversold territory. Should get at least a little bit of relief here. And then, within this structure, what we're going to need to be careful of, and I will keep members in the loop. What we need to be careful of on the way back up is that this isn't going to be a 5-wave move down, right? So we're going to get back up into this area. That's going to be a level of interest. The other thing too is if we drew a trend line right here, I would bet that right up here is a decision level, 618, and that's also puts us near, a little over $1 trillion, because what we don't want to happen is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Right now, what we have is just a simple A, B, C. So that's how that works, and this is going to be the area we got to be careful of on the way back up. But again, I will keep you guys in the loop for that. Still holding above the 0 line here on the MACD momentum. Want to see this curl back up. This thing getting a little bit of a bullish cross here on stochastic RSI. But I do think the alts are pretty close to that moment, guys. Right here on the total, I don't know why I drew that line. Oh, top of that. Okay. Right now, it's kind of similar, right? A, B, C. What we don't want to happen here for the total market cap. So this is everything, including Bitcoin, Ethereum. We hit like nearly 4 trillion. What we don't want to happen right now is this is rolling back up here for a wave 4 and then comes back down for a wave 5. If it did it, that would be okay. Nothing is broken on the macro, guys. I know everyone's screaming. They're just zoomed way too in. But right here, I mean, where we came down to the top of that wave 2, you can see that before that last high there, we got stopped out. Nothing weird about that. And even if it came down for a 5th wave, nothing would be broken. But not my base. Again, I do think markets are going to get turned up here soon. So looking at the dollar, we've talked about the dollar following along exactly with that last alt season back here. This is when the alts went ripping. That's the moment we're in right now for the DXY. So I copied and pasted just this up part of that fractal, and we've been zoomed in on it. And sure enough, I mean, it's been pretty crazy how it's been moving so far. So kind of in like a moment like this where we're coming back down into that high. Could there be another push here in the dollar? Potentially. It's been following it. Do I still have that big one? Nah. But this fractal has been this fractal like to a T. It's been wild. And that's dating back to, pretty much this whole year, 8 months. So waiting for alt season, but guys, we're right in that moment, man. We're right there. So just be patient. Flipping on over to gold. Been in this range since April. I do think eventually it's going to break down, but again, it's a waiting game up here for gold. Looking at the futures, Russell up 0.6. There's a lot of stuff on here, but I kind of need it, so I'm not going to delete all of it. A lot of stuff on here for the Russell. I am looking for it to set a new all-time high. This is the small caps in the stock market, in the U.S. stock market, so it's kind of like the altcoins of stocks, right? Smaller cap stuff. And when the Russell starts to rip, that's when investor confidence is high because they're taking riskier shots. And then that's also when crypto tends to go too. There's a huge correlation here between the RTY and altcoins. So moving over to the Dow Jones, got a little bit of a bounce. That was an ugly end of the week there for the Dow, and we have just 1, 2, 3, 4, just a beautiful little quad top for the Dow Jones right now. So let's see if it comes back down into this level a little bit further. Could find support there. Not really interested in that. I do think these bigger U.S. indices are going to start to roll into the Russell here. So Nasdaq, that got smacked at the end of last week too. Right now, projected to open like 1% up. The S&P, same thing, off into new all-time highs. Eventually, we'll see the capital rotate out of that into the RTY. So that's pretty much how we're looking right now across the board, guys. This is what we do every morning, 7 days a week. I'm putting this stuff out for members. So like I mentioned, Quantum Circle, real-time trades, access to my portfolio, 2 videos a day, a Discord, and I'm teaching you how to do TA just like me. So link to that is in the bio. If not, I just appreciate you guys being here. If you could follow, like, repost. I've been doing TA a long time. Just want to help as many of you as I can. So I hope you all have an awesome Monday, and I'll talk to you a bit later.